Welcome to Swanson Reed's presentation on the changes made to the process for extension of time requests for R&D applications. Within this presentation, we will clarify the two extension of time categories and their deadlines, as well as the types of variations that can be requested. This presentation is based on Oz Industries published material. Request an extension or variation on your R&D tax incentive registration, a link to which can be found on this slide. Oz Industry updated this guidance on the 14th of November 2024, and this presentation intends to reflect this. Under the R&D tax incentive, companies have historically had a limited amount of time to register activities for a financial year. This limitation of time has been necessary to facilitate the effective administration of the program and to be able to finalise and measure its cost for a period. Companies are expected to register the eligible R&D activities within 10 months of the end of their income year. For example, a company's registration for the year ending 30th of June 2024 must be submitted by 30th of April 2025. Where possible, it is always preferable to complete and submit R&D applications well before the deadline, since a timely registration facilitates a timely receipt of a company's R&D tax benefit. The quality of a registration may be improved if it is completed chronologically closer in proximity to when the activities actually occurred, and submitting on time avoids uncertainty and extra resources being used to pursue extension requests. However, sometimes extensions are necessary and there is a specific protocol to be followed when pursuing them. Some key changes limiting the scope of available extensions have also come into effect in recent years that companies must be aware of. All requests for time extensions on annual registration applications have to be made via the Oz Industry customer portal, which was launched in 2022 for FY21 claims. This means that email requests will not be accepted unless they are exceptional circumstances. Oz Industry cannot accept late applications or time extensions for an advanced finding or advanced overseas finding applications under any circumstances. This is due to the IR&D Act decision-making principles. Requests for an extension of 14 days or less that are made before the registration deadline will usually be approved. However, when submitting, a company must explain why they need extra time and why 14 days will be enough time to complete and submit their application. Subtle changes to the process for applying for extensions were announced in November 2024. Under these changes, the updated extension form on the Oz Industry portal provides clarity around the two types of extensions a company can apply for. Category 1 is a request for an extension of 14 days or less made prior to the statutory deadline. These types of requests are automatically approved once you provide the necessary information. Category 2 is a request for an extension of more than 14 days made prior to the statutory deadline, or an extension of any period made after the statutory deadline. To make a Category 2 application for an extension of time, a company must explain why the extension is sought and provide relevant supporting evidence for the reasons given. Oz Industry will only give extensions when either the circumstances are exceptional or the delay is minor. The reasons and evidence supplied within the form will be considered by Oz Industry before making a decision, i.e., the longer the extension, the stronger the evidence and explanation will need to be. Consideration will also be given to whether extensions have been applied for in the past. It should be noted that extensions are not automatically granted once you apply. Recently, a cap on the amount of time able to be granted as an extension has come into effect. As of the 1st of January 2021, there is a limit on extensions of time to submit an application after a statutory deadline. Specifically, the cap was changed from 3 months to 92 days on the 1st of April 2022. It should be noted that this cap will apply unless the extension is granted to allow you to wait for the outcome of a separate pending decision. This is very important to note, since even if a company is subject to a catastrophic event beyond its control, the maximum extension available to submit an application is limited to 92 days. In our experience, if a company must resort to seeking a registration extension, they should plan early and submit the request for the extension ahead of the deadline, have a clear, valid, and documented reason for requesting the extension, and ensure that the application is submitted by the approved extended date if the extension is granted. The variations that can be made to an application or registration is dependent on whether it is submitted before or after the statutory deadline, that is, 10 months after the end of the company's income year has passed. Prior to the statutory deadline, any change can be made to the application or registration. Requests to add or significantly change an R&D activity need to be made and approved before the statutory deadline. AusIndustry recommends requests to add an activity be submitted at least a week before the deadline to allow enough time for review by both parties. After the deadline, a company can only vary their application or registration to remove all or part of an R&D activity, change when an activity occurred, reduce, not increase, the length of time during which an activity occurred, reclassify all or part of an R&D activity, make minor amendments. That concludes the presentation of changes made to the processes for extension of time requests for R&D applications. If you wish to apply for an extension or a variation to your application, the link can be found on this slide. If you have any questions about this presentation, please contact our office. Thanks for watching.